What's up? The trade deadline has come and gone. The 49ers getting on that plane, heading to Tampa Bay. Sunny skies in Florida to take on the Buccaneers. And I got the game plan right here on the Wayne Breezy Show. Stick around, everybody. What's going on, 49er faithful? You already know what time it is. We sounding that foghorn alarm because 49ers football is officially back, baby. What's going on, everybody out there, man? Thank y'all so much for tuning into the Wayne Breezy Show, where we're going to talk 49er football. We got the game plan today. John Chapman couldn't be here on today, which is all good. He'll be back next week when we break down that game plan for the Seattle Seahawks. So that's going to be interesting. Shout out to everybody out there that's in the live chat. I do apologize if you were here first. I don't know what goes on with the YouTube chat and what they do prior, the show start, but it is what it is. But I'm going to shout you out anyway. My man Maui's in here. What's going on? Blessings, faithful. You probably already will, but Wayne, can you share any thoughts on the defensive tackle signing? Hope you all have a great day. I promise I'm going to get to that because the 49ers actually made a move. So let me start your comments so I can get to that for sure. My man Boats is in the building. Matthew's in the building. 49er Throwback says, Wayne, how'd you delete my comment? Listen, I promise I don't delete nothing, right? I don't know what be going on with the world of YouTube. I don't. I didn't even get into the YouTube chat. I was trying to prep for my show so I could make sure I got all the John Chapman information that I need to deliver the game plan. But I apologize if that happened to you and you said Peachy was here as well. My bad. But guys, make sure you hit that like button. All right, man. It's right there. Hit the like button. And while you're there, if this is your first time watching, click on the subscribe. Listen, I got tons of shows daily, weekly, monthly, you name it, man. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the Wayne Breezy channel, and it'll be football related. I promise. I'm learning some things right now, so we'll be bringing you 49ers content day and night, as long as some NFL content as well. So if you like your fantasy football, you can get that here, as well as your picks. If you like, to go through the picks and which team you should pick for whatever reasons. Myself and Mose do a show called Pigskin Picks, and we break that down right here on the same channel. So make sure you guys go ahead and click that subscribe button. Thanks, 49ers _throwback. Alejandro's in the building. Christy Marie is in the building. Hey, family, don't bother me with the hashtag BB. Araceli, good morning. Good morning from Tanisha. What's going on? The Breezy Bunch is in the building. Papa J, Marty Mar, 49er Empire. Nigel, you know you that one and only mighty guy. What's going on? Eddie G, and the Bulldogs. You get the explosive. Bam! What's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. My brother from another mother, Colin, is in the building from across the seas. Jamal says, what it do, faithful? Hey, Mr. DJ, we can get this started. OG Gibbs, bruh. What's good? 49er Media and everybody else, man. Y'all just coming in. Y'all knew exactly what to put. I think he meant Gip. And we'll talk about Gip too, man. And Nigel got some questions. So listen, I promise I'm going to get to everybody. We're going to have some fun. Shout out to Peachy. Matthew says we love you. We would absolutely appreciate it. Listen. Whew, come on. Listen, I don't want to cry. I ain't got no tears right now. I mean, they in there. But thank you for that love, man, and that appreciation. That's dope. Man, salute to you, Matthew. Thank you so much. Am I live on YouTube? I am live on YouTube right now. That actually, and that, you know what, Araceli, if you join the YouTube channel, which I appreciate you on Facebook. Don't if you got another browser, open it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you rock, but you'll see the YouTube chat. Like it's deep. It's deep. You know what I mean? It's super deep. But thank you guys for tuning in, man. If you want that exclusive content where I'll be doing, there was no film breakdown. I don't break down film from the other teams. It's just not my thing. I just like to see what the 49ers can do and be better at. You can check that out on the Patreon. You go to patreon.com /the Wayne Breezy. I'll make sure I put the link inside the live feed so you guys can just click on it if you want to. But that's where the exclusive content is there. Also do an NFL show with Peachy. So if you want to see some more of her exclusively, it's right there on the Patreon. So go ahead and check that out as well. And don't forget to check out stuff. I'm working on my website, so that's going to be coming up. But the apparel is there. So if you do want to shop, you want to get you a WB t-shirt, t-shirt. We got some new line stuff coming out. Shout out to Ty as well. Check it out, man. We're going to have some sales going on, so make sure you go ahead and check it out. And last but not least, certainly not least, the sponsor of my show, the Wayne Breezy Show. Shout out to Residency. Residency is in the building. You can go to www.residency.com. Listen, I'm not going to put up the link. You can see right there, residency.com. Use the promo code SFBreezy. You'll save on your total purchase. And they got some new stuff coming on, man. They got some new stuff coming out. So make sure you get right for the second half of the 49ers football season. Whew. I could take a breather. That was long. That took 5 minutes. Me saying good morning, thank you, and shouting everybody out took almost 6 minutes, which is great. But listen, some stuff has been going down. The trade deadline is over with. Thank God we got some news. We got some updates, so we'll get to that. As far as the news and updates, man, the 49ers are looking to, they're looking a bit replenished, right? They're looking a bit replenished. I like exactly what's going on. I feel like the timing is great. They're coming off of a bye week. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be furious. They're going to be fast. They're going to be violent. They're going to be dangerous. And most importantly, they're getting some guys back, right? And so when you look at what the 49ers are doing, they are getting players back, and the practice window has officially opened for CMC and John Feliciano. I keep wanting to call him Anthony because one of my best friend's name is Anthony Feliciano. It was back in the day. We used to do a show called The Extreme Show. We used to talk about movies. It was so dope, man. I miss that. I feel like I need to talk about movies. I need to talk about old movies, good movies, movies that ain't come out, cartoons. I miss it. But yeah, but they're not related, I don't think. If they are, Anthony, give me an autograph if you're watching. But John Feliciano, man, their practice windows are open. And now their practice window is a 21-day period window. All right, so the Niners don't have to necessarily they have 21 days to bring them off the IR, the injured reserve, right? So they have 21 days. So CMC is back to full practice. John Feliciano back to full practice. And you know what the question that's going on out there is like, are these guys going to play? And my theory and my thought is I believe CMC will start. I'm not sure where John Feliciano fits as of right now on the offensive line, but will he play? I think they get him some reps. I think he'll be a guy that may be somewhat type of a rotative guy. You usually don't rotate offensive linemen, but we'll see what happens. But I do think CMC will get the start. Now, as far as the usage, that's a whole different ballpark, whole different question. I'm not sure how the Niners plan to use CMC. You know what I mean? I'm just not sure. I'm really not. I would want them to give him, me personally, I would want the full plan for CMC. I do. If CMC is healthy and he's activated, it's full. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but we into week 10. I ain't got time for players to be getting acclimated to football. He's a professional. I feel like he takes care of his body very well. And I know one thing, that CMC wants to play football more than anything. I think he's itching. I think he's scratching. I think he's burning. I think he's yearning. I feel like I'm about to be on some Gap Band stuff right now. Like I'm just feeling very musical right now. But I do. I really feel like CMC wants to get out there. And you know what? Something struck me today. It hit me. The whole CMC situation has been a little bit funny. What's going on, 49ers? I'm doing really good, actually. I'm feeling good. I'm great. We talking 49ers, and that's the most important thing. And you guys are here, so I just wanted to answer your question. So thank you so much for asking. Check this out, right? Remember back in the day when CMC got the extension? He was going to hold out. He wanted the guarantees in his contract. What if I came up with this theory? It's a conspiracy theory. I know y'all don't like it, but just hear me out, because I feel like there might be a little bit of validity to it, because I feel like Kyle's been telling us stuff and we haven't really been listening, and we've been overreacting to everything, right? So check this out. CMC gets the rework stuff in his contract, gets the little extension, gets the guarantees, right? He shows up to, I can't remember, it wasn't OTAs, can't remember what it was called, but he shows up. And then he's kind of like, he's there, he's dressed, and then he's shut down. Remember, he did practice, But remember Kyle Shanahan shut him down for the preseason. He says he will be shut down for the preseason. Then the injuries started to come out. Then Kyle Shanahan was asked a couple of questions about his usage last year. And then people were trying to connect the dots because everybody wants to know how, when, who. We know the who, and we know the what. We know what the injuries are. We know what the injuries are, right? But remember, it started with a calf strain, and then it went to the Achilles with the same calf, and then it went to both Achilles, and then he had to go get a special treatment across seas. Kyle was asked a question about his usage, and Kyle said, CMC is the type of player, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting, so don't use this. But he said that Christian McCaffrey is the type of player that doesn't take himself out of a game, regardless of what the situation is. And remember I said that his father on Sirius XM said, I don't know if y'all remember this, but I'm saying his father. Now I remember this because this stuck with me. He said, if you are a football player and you are hurt, you better show up and play. If you're injured, that's a different conversation. I feel like Christian McCaffrey isn't injured. I feel like Christian McCaffrey is hurt. I feel like Kyle Shanahan, though, because of him knowing who Christian McCaffrey is and what the work ethic, the fact that he wants to play every single down, all that type of stuff, I think doing what they did, or I think him being injured with this particular type of injury was the only way Kyle Shanahan could really get this cat to take a break and fully somewhat recover from the Achilles. Kyle said that it wasn't serious in the very beginning. And then the reports came out and we made it so much more serious. We're talking Achilles, and that's a serious injury, right? But remember, Kyle said it's really not that serious. It's just a calf strain. And then it went to the Achilles, and then it went to both Achilles. And so we are like overacting. I bet that Kyle Shanahan, this is my bomb, flex bomb, right? I bet Kyle Shanahan shut Christian McCaffrey down so his body can fully recoup, which means that cat is ready to play some football. Now, I could be wrong. That's Breezy's conspiracy. That's just my theory, my thoughts. I'm not looking at none of the comments. I'm looking dead into my camera. You're not seeing my eyes go here, there. I'm looking dead into the camera. I don't want to see what y'all got to say because I know y'all got something to say. But I really feel that if Christian McCaffrey is activated, that cat is going to be explosive. I know people are going to cry about the workload, but I think he'll get between 15 to 20 plus carries if he's the starting running back. And I think that's okay. Because I'm going to give you my game plan and what they need to do. Now, John Feliciano, on the other hand, just not sure where he's going to fit in. I think the offensive line is pretty solid. I think that the team is running, the team is ranked third in running, and the team is ranked top 5 in passing. Help me out, because I don't know how you can be ranked that high without the offensive line playing well. So unless there's a significant injury to a position, I just don't think Feliciano is going to be the guy that's going to start. But I think Feliciano is that first man up if something was to go down, in either practice, in a football game. Dude, you ready? You locked and loaded. So I can see both of those guys being activated to the 53 off the IR this week. But again, I think Christian McCaffrey is the one that's going to get the start. All right. That's just my theory and thoughts. And I'm going to go through these questions and I'm going to see, some things and try to highlight some of the comments, man. Shout out to Jose. He's over on Facebook. He says, good morning, Breezy. I look forward to watching the game this Sunday. Or as me and my brother would like to call those games, breakfast games. Yes. Where are you watching from, Jose? Just curious to know. And this is an early game for my West Coast family. What is this, 10 o'clock a.m. breakfast game? If you're out on the West Coast, 10 o'clock, right? Because if you're out in a different country, it's like late, right? So 10 o'clock a.m. Wow. Yeah, breakfast game. This is the second, my apology, 1 o'clock p.m. start for the San Francisco 49ers this season. They lost to the Vikings and their first 1 p.m. start. So it's going to be interesting. My man Jason Hess is in the building. I don't know if you got a chance to see Jason, his pictures out there, man. This dude is he took a picture with my guy Trent Williams, and he got to chop it up with Trent, man, and that's got to be an experience. Can you imagine chopping it up with Trent Williams, like the silverback? You know what I'm saying? And he's saying he's not that tall and all that good stuff and everything. So I think that's pretty cool, man. Congratulations to you, Jason. As no one deserves it better than you. See, you get to watch it in like the afternoon, so this is good for you, Colin. Like, you know what I mean? Great for you. But shout out to my Cali people. Y'all get up in the morning, go for a run, and you get a football game. You know what I mean? Me, I'll be in church, leaving as fast, quick, and a hurt. Matter of fact, I'm have to leave church early. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. It's just what it is. God forgive me. But the Niners play at 1. God willing. So Nigel has a comment because we were talking about the running backs. He says, I want to see Kyle use our running backs like Detroit using Gibbs and Montgomery. I don't know if you remember that Kyle Shanahan, when Elijah Mitchell was coming back, and that was the plan. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if you remember Christian McCaffrey, like that first half, and then right out of the gate in the second half, you saw Elijah Mitchell start. This dude's averaging like 15 yards a carry. I am concerned about, we were talking about, the players and their health. I am concerned about Jordan Mason. I'm not sure if he returned to practice, so I don't put that out there. Now, Jordan Mason has a shoulder injury, so Mason may not be good to go this week. It may be McCaffrey if he's activated, and Isaac Guerendo, the rookie. So this will be more opportunities for Isaac Guerendo as well. 49ers Throwback says, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I wouldn't put the workload on CMC. I'd mix it up in between JP Mason and Isaac Guerendo. Yeah, like this could be the plan too. I tell you what, though, if the 49ers are in the red zone and CMC not out there, I'm going to have a fit. So I expect the Niners to be in the red zone a lot. I expect to see a lot of Christian McCaffrey in the red zone, and I expect the red zone percentage to be 100%. That's just what I'm expecting with Christian McCaffrey out there. But you got to get Christian McCaffrey back into the game. So he's got to be out there for a series, and then you move him out. Like, and if he gets into a rhythm, you don't mess up the rhythm. Like, in my opinion, that's just me. I just think Christian McCaffrey is the ultimate professional. I really don't think that those injuries that he had were super duper serious. I think it was just more of the team shutting him down so he can get proper rest. They went 4-4. I know that's not what we wanted, but I think that was the only way Kyle could get this dude to take a break. And I remember his father just saying, yo, my son is a workaholic. And I just thinking of the father's mentality, talk about Ed McCaffrey. I just think his son's taking that mentality to a whole nother level. Philosophy is what we call it. Me and Mike were arguing about philosophy. So it is what it is. But I respect that. I respect everybody's take on it. Let's see what Kyle Shanahan does. I know whatever Kyle Shanahan does, most people aren't going to like it. But I will say if McCaffrey is utilized and he's effective, I think his not snap count, but actual touches is different. I think he should get between 15 to 20 carries. If he's the bell cow. He's getting paid to be the bell cow. You use him. That's what he's paid for. Because we need to see, can he run between the tackles? Can he get outside zone? Ain't gonna be positive plays every single time. So we need to see what Christian McCaffrey could do out there. Let's just pray and hope he's activated and good to go. Other players returning to practice. Juwan Jennings is back. Oh man, you guys don't know how happy I am. Now the Niners offense won't be so damn stagnant on third down. Ugh. And Jake Moody is back. So round of applause for Jake Moody too, man. You can say what you want about Jake. He is officially the kicker. Now, shout out to Anders Carlson because the Niners did make some roster moves, and we'll go through those. They made some roster moves. So Anders Carlson has been released. Anders Carlson has been released from the practice squad of the San Francisco 49ers. He was the place kicker for the 49ers during the recovery of Jake Moody. He was actually the third kicker that they had to bring in because Matthew Wright, which was the replacement, ended up getting injured in the game on special teams play, and he's on the IR. I am expecting once they're I don't know how this works because I know there's a designation from the IR and how many slots you can use. I don't know if taking him off the IR would mean it shouldn't affect him being brought up, but I think he'll be released once the IR 4-week IR situation is over with, and then the Niners will be back to just having the one kicker on the roster. They may release him off the IR and put him on the practice squad, Matthew Wright. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but they have to free up some spots. You can only have a certain amount of spots on the practice squad as well as on your active 53. So Anders Carlson, who did a good job for the San Francisco 49ers, in my opinion, is gone. They also waived linebacker Jalen Graham. I want to get y'all thoughts about that. So now I'm asking you, how do you guys feel about the 49ers waiving Jalen Graham? And those that are watching the live show, appreciate it. And if I see a question, I'm saving your question to the end. I'm doing a little Q&A. So make sure you stick around. Make sure you stick around. Q&A. If you're not watching the live show and you got questions, make sure you drop a comment with the question in the comment section, right? And then I'll get to answering. I kind of really do get to them joints on the weekends because I don't stream live on the weekends. So that's kind of when I get to those. So you got Debo back. You got Jennings back at practice. These are good. These guys were labeled as questionable. And if you want to know what their injuries are, excuse me, Jennings out with the hip injury. He's back with the hip injury, and so that's great. Now, what I'm looking at hasn't been updated, but let me go check out my PFF site where I get a lot of the info, and I can tell you what the injuries are looking for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, so it's not saying that these players were back at practice, but Jennings is back because we got the news. Debo with the torso injury as well as wrist, good. And we're waiting on to see what's good with Jordan Mason. That's the only person that hasn't been listed as back. Now, let's talk about Jalen Graham. All right, Jalen Graham. Let's talk about Jalen Graham. How you guys feel about him being released? That was a question that I asked. Let me know. Let me know how you guys feel about him being released. My personal opinion, I don't know what Jalen Graham's issue has been on special teams. That's weird. The moment they got him back, I don't know if it's a mental thing, but the moment they brought him back, you guys remember that touchdown? That was Jalen Graham. And so like I'm just, I think far as a body, they let him go or whatnot. And this could be good news too, because this could mean the return of Dre Greenlaw. He was on the practice squad, but this could mean that the return of Dre Greenlaw may be near, since he's been quote unquote, working out on the sideline and running and doing things and, helmet on and, that could be good. That's according to our guy, Trent Williams. So, Jalen, there could be issues or reasons why Graham is gone. I know a lot of people want us to move on from Campbell. I feel like Campbell's getting better and better each week. Like he's slowly, progressively starting to understand the concept of what his assignment is. And I thought he played really good in coverage in the Dallas game. Didn't give up any explosive plays. That's good as hell enough for me as I was watching the film. You can check that out, though. Check it out on the breakdown on the Patreon. Like, I'm not lying. I not sticking up for him, but I didn't see him make a bunch of boo-boos like we've been seeing him in man coverage. I thought in man coverage he got a little bit better. Now, it could have been the type of players that he was asked to cover against Dallas. But I'm just sorry for any team that's going to put a wide receiver that's a good one on any linebacker. They're going to get torched. Fred Warner got torched by CeeDee Lamb 3 times. So, it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But Graham's gone. And they also brought back, since we had the releases, the people on the practice squad, they brought my man Gip back, man. Let's go. T. Gip, the veteran in the building. I love it. Veteran in the building. If you said, wait a minute. So I just happened to look at some of these comments. Hold on. We should have waived the trade Campbell. So M&S is talking. So M&S, I'm coming after you, baby. Here we go. Just hold on, because you said something. Nope, that's on the coordinator. Bango. All right, we agreed here. You said something. Nope, you didn't say nothing. My bad. MNS. You're right. Somebody said he couldn't tackle. That's the comment I'm looking for. I don't know what game y'all watching, but he's one of the best tacklers on the team. It's when he can't cover the guy. He's getting lost in coverage. Like, that's his issue. Honestly, that's Campbell's issue. He's good against the run. He's terrible against the pass. In man coverage. In zone, he's there. He's in his spot. And if he come in his spot, he's ready to lay the pipe down. Pause. Right there. So that's Campbell in a nutshell. But the Niners knew that. The Niners had to know that. And I think, you know what I'm thinking? Another conspiracy theory. I need to get like a Breezy-spiracy or sound effect or something like that. Check this out. I bet the Niners were hoping D. Winters would have progressed a lot quicker. But I think what happened with D. Winters, he was injured a lot early. And so he's still slowly coming of age, right? I think that is the issue. So I think the Niners maybe we'll see more D. Winters starting over Devondre Campbell. Maybe that's what we'll see. Maybe that'll be a little adjustment that Nick Sorensen makes. I know a lot of everybody will love that, but he still struggles out there on the football field. He's fast, he's quick, he's furious, he's vicious, he's violent, but he missed tackles. Right? So he's missing tackles, and he's not great yet in coverage. I think he's not great yet in coverage because you're missing probably your best coverage linebacker. Let me ask you this question. Who do you think is the best coverage linebacker, Dre Greenlaw or Fred Warner? All right, Dre Greenlaw or Fred Warner. Who's the best coverage linebacker on the 49ers? Dre Greenlaw or Fred Warner? Let me know what you guys think. I think Marty Marr, 49er Empire, said he couldn't tackle. My bad. So, yeah, Greenlaw or whatever. I want to see Warner. Okay. Cool. Warner. Oh, it's a lot of Warners. Yeah. Oh, you was talking about Jalen Graham. Thank you, bro. I just didn't know. I was talking about Campbell. You know, there's a little 7-second delay, so my bad. Warner, but them together, I don't know. I think we're sleeping on Greenlaw's coverage skills. We've seen Warner more, but I think we really sleeping on Greenlaw's coverage skills. From sideline to sideline, that motherfucker be covering. Right. He don't get the picks. Right, Boats. I know that's the context. He's not getting the interceptions, but he's making big plays. All right, we got some greens. I'm not trying to sway anybody. My man Dwayne says Greenlaw. Man, listen, it's great to have them both healthy. I'll leave it at that. Fred Warner, mentally, is the guy. Physically, it's Greenlaw. Coverage-wise, it might be neck and neck. Fred Warner's going to get the picks because he's playing the middle of the field. Fred Warner is playing safety at a linebacking position. Let that sink in. That's why when he's playing the right depth, oh, shoot, better not throw the ball over the middle. If Fred is playing his right depth, or if, let's say he's overcheat, like let's say Fred knows this ball coming over the middle of the field and he's playing the right depth, he has the ability to jump in the air, tip the pass, catch the pass, right? Fred is the man. But Greenlaw on the body, like body to body and man coverage, I like me some Greenlaw and man coverage, bro. Like, and so like this is kind of like what we're missing on the football field. You know what I mean? And so look, and reinforcements are coming back. That's a great thing. You know what I mean? So him working out, him practicing with the guys, not practicing because because of the CBA he can't do certain things, but on the sideline you're seeing him prepare himself. We've been seeing him all season long, getting the defense wild up, getting them going. The energy is there. All I keep saying is, yo, be careful with your feet, dog. But you can tell like he's ready to put on those cleats and get back into the game. So once he comes back, and let me ask you this question. Last question I'm going to ask y'all, I promise. Y'all supposed to be asking me the questions. Last question I'm going to ask y'all. When Greenlaw comes back, do you want him limited? Do you want limited snaps? Just thought I asked the question. When Greenlaw returns, do you want limited snaps? I got to take a quick pause for a second from my man Agency 23 because whenever I see this scripture, like this right here, like this is definitely one of my faves as far as songs, praise and worship songs, sayings. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And that's all we need to say. And I love that. Thank you, Agency 23. I needed to hear that. What my Isaiah says, Wayne, made it. My notifications don't work. I don't want Greenlaw Unlimited for sure. See, y'all some hypocrites. I'm looking for the ones that say nah. All right. Dwayne says ease them in. Hey, man. Listen, at least you keeping it. Are you the one to ease in CMC too? I'm just curious because then I'll know what your theory is. You know what I'm saying? Robert says, yup, don't need a setback. Guys, let me just explain something, right? This is football, man. I need my best players out there on the football field at all times. If the Niners were 8-0, I'm all for the easing in. I think the Niners are at 4-4, and I know there's a possibility that they could lose a player to an injury. But guess what? There's also a possibility that they could lose a player to an injury. It's just football. I just feel like here's my theory: if the players are cleared, let them go out there and play football. Don't limit those guys. And limiting them could be what is hindering them, and it could be what hurts them. I just think that. You know what I mean? Like, that's my theory, though. I say you got to let him go out there and test that Achilles out. You got to let CMC go out there, test that Achilles out. Can he take the hit? Can he cut? Can he run? Can he block? Can he catch? Can he do these? Can he? The only way you're going to find out is by, utilizing. I feel like this is your theory. Y'all theories on the limitations can be right, too. There's nothing wrong with it. I just, these are players that are game changers for the 49ers. And if they're gonna get injured, I just feel like they're gonna get injured. I think that happens for everybody. I hate that I think like that, but it's like having a bunch of pair of Jordans and you don't want to wear this one particular pair outside because it's raining. I don't know. Or having, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad analogy. Nah, actually, it's not. Because I'm not wearing them shits outside when it's raining either. I'll put on something different. So you know what? Screw that analogy. But you get what I'm saying. It's like having something, shiny that you just got fixed. And you're scared to test it out again. You kind of want to ease it in. All right, I'll give it to you like this. I'm a musician, right? Got some keyboards. Sometimes my keyboards, because of the computers inside, and probably some stuff that's happened to them over the years, they start to have a mind of their own. One time, I was doing a show, right? Keyboard playing, everything was good. Singer called a song, and I'm trying to play the song, and my keys aren't playing. Like, I'm hitting the keys, and there's no sounds coming out of them. Then, the keyboard just started doing whatever it wants. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the shop, got the keyboard back. And I don't know, I think I just went full throttle the next time when I brought it back out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to limit it because I needed that keyboard had specific sounds I create for certain shows. And I brought it back out and it worked. You know what I'm saying? It worked. But then I was like, I need to get something more reliable just in case this happens again. I think it's when the Niners come in, right? So when you look at, they got Jordan Mason. They got an Isaac Guerrero that they drafted. They got a reserve in Patrick Taylor Jr. So you bring your player out, you let him go out there, you let him go full throttle, and you kind of live with what you get at the end, which is going to be positive, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens, man. All I know is I'm just hoping that these guys are activated. So the Niners made some moves. We got to talk about this trade before we get into this game plan, all right? So the Niners did make a trade, and there were a couple of questions asking me about the actual trade, right? About the defensive tackle. How do I feel about this? I talked about Gip being back. I'm super excited about Gip. Listen, first of all, before I get into Khalil Davis, let me just talk a little bit about Gip. I understand Gip had this situation, whatever, boom, boom, boom. He did a suspension. He was signed back to Jacksonville, didn't play, and now he's back with the Niners. He's back kind of like where he belongs, if you think about it. Now, here's a couple of things I'm getting from the Gip signing. And I said, a couple of shows ago and I think I tweeted it. Listen, I love Jair Brown. I love what Malik Mustafa is doing, but something isn't clicking when it comes to the Talanoa Hufanga situation. I don't think the Niners bring him back off the IR this year, and that's crazy to think. Now, it can help the Niners in several ways, right? They can offer him a contract. It'll be dirt cheap. Now they got another safety that was once an all-pro that can fully have time to recover, blah, 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 be there next year, depending on if that's where tough Huff chooses and wants to sign, right? But you got two young guys there, and you got to go on a stretch of games winning to where you can't make certain mistakes. Now, he's been signed to the practice squad, so let me make that clear. He's got to work his way back up, right, to not starting, but to the active roster. I think the Niners get veteranship. They get better depth, right, at that spot, and that's what they need, because they need a player that just understands what to do in that cover one, cover three, 2-man high, switch the role, start with 2-man, end up with one guy back, and can be like, that's what Gibb does. The season that Huff was an all-pro, who was back there with him? Somebody answer that question for me. The season that Talanoa Hufanga was all-pro, who was the other safety back there? Let's see if you guys can remember. I give you a hint. His initials are TG. TG. All-pro season, TG. So you bring back a veteran that can teach, that can mentor, that can be a guy, that can be a voice, that could be a leader, that could be a model, whether he plays or not. Like, this is why you bring him back, because I got two young safeties that are still literally being sculpted, right? Shaped, formed into, especially when you look at Malik Mustafa, he's still raw. But I think Jair Brown is raw too. Like, I think they're raw. And, I think what the Niners were trying to do, they thought Huff was going to be good to go. He would have been a guy to mentor the young Jair Brown, but his injury came and blah, 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 blah. So the Niners are getting back to, their brass of football. Give me the veteran in the room. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get cracking. So Huff, we wish you a speedy recovery. I'm hoping he returns, maybe playoff time, because the Niners get 2 extra return spots. See what I'm saying? From the IR if they make it to the postseason. That's just like 2 more. It's total of 6, but it's 8 if you make it to the postseason. And so now you could bring back Huff. You get what I mean? When you actually literally are going to need him. So we'll see what happens with that. So Nigel, yep, he got re-signed. He's on the practice squad. I just wanted to touch your question. I felt like there was another question. Let me see before I get to that. Alejandro says, how many yards CMC for this game? It's a good question. It's a good question. I tell you what, I'll answer that toward the end of the show. I was trying to see if there were any more questions about that. Let's talk about this, because my man Maui wanted to know about the defensive tackle as well as MNS. All right. Can you talk Davis versus someone else like Clowney? So they went interior, and they went with a 315-pound guy, right? Like 15-pound guy. They didn't go exterior. They didn't go edge. Now, my theory on why they did not go edge is, I think it's Bosa, it's Floyd. They like what they're getting from damn it, you got me saying Clowney, but then is it Robert Bill Jr. I think they like the progression from Jr., right? Hear me out. And I know they're going to have somebody coming back off the IR. His name is Yetur Gross-Matos. He signed to a 2-year deal. So I don't think they were willing to invest at that position because they feel like they got a guy that is going to return soon. Does that make any sense? If that makes any sense, that would be cool. If not, that's just my theory. Now, as far as going with a guy like Khalil Davis, I hope I'm saying his name right. Khalil Davis, not Kalia Davis. He's already on the roster. The Niners decided that they need to get back to doing something that they just struggle with, and that's stopping the run. That's stopping the run. And he's 6'1", he's 315. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Here's what I do know. He can help be out there in that front soaking up those blocks, and he's going to be playing with his co-partner from the Texans, Malik Collins, and maybe they just got some type of a chemistry. Now, the Niners do have an injury on the defensive line. I don't know if people remember, but if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Givens is dealing with an injury, and he has not been reported back to practice. Now, if there's a time practice hasn't started yet, he can probably come back. But I think this gives the Niners more depth in the rotation in the front, right? And so I think the Niners are looking for guys that can do two things. When they go big like this, especially with the big guys, they're looking for those two interior defensive tackles to literally free up the gaps so that the linebackers can come and fill in these holes. And I think what I've been watching on football film, as well as the live games, is we're seeing offensive linemen get to the linebackers. Once they get to the linebackers, it's almost impossible to make the tackle. And then you get your missed tackles, right? Because now your safety's got to come and clean up, and they're just diving all over the football field. And this could be a big issue and they tried. Let's give the Niners credit. They tried to work with the depth that they had. They lost Javon Hargrave early in the beginning of the season. They said, no problem. We got depth here. We're going to rotate Collins. We got Jordan Elliott. I believe that's his name. We got Kevin Givens. We'll bring up Evan Anderson from time to time. We'll rotate the depth here. And then next thing you know, it wasn't really working out for the San Francisco 49ers. Kevin Givens is dealing with an injury. Jordan Elliott dealing with an injury. It's like, yo, we got to really beef up in the interior. So, 7th round pick. First of all, it's a 2026 7th round pick. If I'm not mistaken, 2026. We're in 2024, right? 2020. That's 2 drafts from now. Man, listen. You know what? Can we just give a round of applause to D'Amico Ryans just for saying, PG said that D'Amico did us a solid. I'm a rock with that. Did another solid. So I like it. You know what I mean? And it's cool. So we get a guy. Now, how will he fit with the Niners? Man, that's to be continued. Now, we don't know that. But we do know he's a big guy up front. Is going to try to take and force these running backs to get back to running to the outside, which is where the linebackers need to be to clean up and make these tackles, right? That's what we're missing. Like, remember last season, where did teams beat us in the run game? Was it inside or outside? Last season, toward the end of the season, when we played physical running teams, how did they beat us? Was it outside or inside? Was it power run or outside zone? Who can tell me which one it was? Was it power runs up the middle, or was it getting to the outside? And so, like, the Niners are just like, oh, we gotta fix this, show. We got the quick linebackers, we got the speed, but teams aren't running. Some people saying out. It was really inside. It was inside, and then they bounced to the outside. So they were powering us, and it started with the freaking Browns. It was power runs. Thank you, Delvin. It was power runs. Thank you, Dwayne. Alejandro said middle. It was power runs. I was like, who the fuck is Jerome Ford? I mean, I knew he went to Cincinnati, but who is he? Because he was gashing us. And then teams started to go to the Packers game. Aaron Jones. They were powering us up the middle. Go to the Lions game. Lions took a crazy lead because David Montgomery. Now, and the Lions cheated too. The Lions, they didn't cheat, but they literally took plays out of the 49ers playbook. Not one 49er player was ready for Jameson Williams out of the backfield. That's the Deebo Samuel play. Nobody was ready for it. I don't get it. We got Deebo. We practice. Do we practice against it? I don't think the Niners were prepared for that. That threw us off. And next thing you know, you get the Jahmyr Gibbs, you get the David Montgomery power. So like the Niners said, hey, we gotta bulk up in the middle. And that's what they did. So you don't gotta like the trade. That's fair. Give it a couple of weeks. And keep in mind, it was only for a 7th round pick. Not even this year. Now listen, Madden will be tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in. Christian McCaffrey is going to play. I don't give a fuck. He's playing in my Madden. He's on the Madden cover. You seen him all season. If he's on the roster and he's there, he is playing. I'm telling you that right now. I don't give a. You heard? He playing. Now that's that. So that's tomorrow. Also, I'm trying to think of anything else. Nope, that's tomorrow. So tomorrow will be Madden. Let's get to this game plan. John couldn't be here today, but make sure you go ahead and follow John on at 49ers Rush right here on the YouTube and elsewhere. The Niners are favored by 5.5 points. Interesting thing, the San Francisco 49ers are actually favored in every game for the remainder of the season. How crazy. What the hell is Vegas talking about? What is Vegas doing? That's why I keep saying, stop. We got to stop tripping. We got to stop tripping. Because Vegas knows something. Vegas be knowing things we don't know. I'm not a big Vegas fan. Yeah, I live in CT. I can't do a lot. But they be knowing stuff. 5.5-point favorites. Now, I'm looking at these two teams, and I'm saying to myself, man, they look identical, right? They got a quarterback that can do some things. They got I didn't know Baker Mayfield was this good until, last season he sparked. But he's comfortable. You could tell when the quarterback is comfortable. You could tell when the coach trusts the quarterback and the quarterback's comfortable. Bake's playing good. I'm just going to keep it like it is. Bake's playing good. But they're missing a lot of pieces on their offense. And they got some key injuries, too. I just wanted to talk about that. Chris Godwin's out for the year. Mike Evans won't play in this game. Jamal Dean, their quarterback, is on the IR. Watts is on the IR, their edge rusher. Linebacker Dennis is on the IR. Thompson to be out, and their interior defensive lineman Gaines is questionable. So they got some guys that unfortunately just won't be able to play in this game, just like the 49ers, right? Just like the 49ers. So when I say that these teams are pretty much like dead even as far as like game, play, record, it's the same thing. You got Baker Mayfield making plays, Baker Mayfield deep going down the field. He's developed a great rapport with his weapon in freaking Cade Otton. Now, I'm, when I'm thinking of the game plan, defensively, I'm saying to myself, all right, I'm thinking of who's the most dangerous players that we got to watch out for. That'll be coming out soon. But I know Cade Otton has to be one of them because that is who he's comfortable throwing the ball to. Now, he's getting the ball to some of these rookies out there. Is it the kid from Washington on this team, if I'm not mistaken? Like, he's getting the ball to these wide receivers that y'all might not know. It's just not as flashy as getting the ball to a Godwin or a Mike Evans, but they're still putting up points. And that's crazy. So let's get to the offensive portion of this game plan, because what does the team need to do offensively? As far as Kyle Shanahan, what does he need to do? Right. And clearly Kyle's going to try to come out with some type of a balanced attack version of his game plan, right? He wants to run the ball. He wants to throw the ball. Now, the question is, what type of runs and what type of throws? And that's what I'm going to get into. So when I'm thinking of the Niners, I think they really, if they get Christian McCaffrey back and he's playing in this game, now he enables the offense to do so much more with the outside zone. Why? And it might take a couple of plays, might take a couple of series, but the offensive line is used to running with Christian McCaffrey. They kind of know his things that he make up, how he cuts, what he's doing, especially Trent Williams. I think that rapport right there, you're going to see a lot of more outside zone to whose side? The left side. And that's how you want to attack them, right? You want to, move that ball outside, get them big defense. Listen, you could run in the middle if you want, but why? I'm not running toward Vita Vea. I'm not stupid. I might be, a little slow at times. I'm not stupid. I gotta run it to where they're powerful in the middle. Tampa Bay is always powerful in the middle, so you get them big fellas moving left and right. This is a game where I want to see lateral runs, lateral throws. For the first time this season, we might see a bunch of quick screens to the left, quick screens to the right, tight ends, receivers, reverses, you name it. They're going to be making them big guys up the middle get tired. I guarantee you. And that's Kyle Shanahan. That's how he's going to look to attack this defense. They have a pretty good, decent secondary, in my opinion. They have some really great players on their secondary. Antoine Winfield Jr., I'm not going to say he's slight. That dude's a top safety in the league. When he's healthy, he's really out there balling. He's a center fielder, but they can move him around. He can play in the box. He can play deep. And so, I think Brock, to avoid making some mistakes in this game, I think Brock Purdy is going to be looking to be efficient, look to get the ball out of his hand quick, and look to get the ball into his playmakers' hands. And those playmakers will be George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey if he plays. If not, whatever the running back is back there is going to get a lot of touches out of the backfield. Jordan Mason if he plays. Isaac Guerrero, we know for sure is going to play because he's the only healthy back we got, really. And so, that's got to be the offensive attack. And when I'm looking at this team, Perk Dog, what up, baby? I got a sound effect for Perk Dog. I just happened to look at my chat. Hold on, Perk. I'm coming, dog. I'm coming. Here we go. What's going on, Perk Dog? Just to let y'all know, y'all listening to one of the oh, I didn't even read the comment, but thank you, my bro. Appreciate you. I got to meet Perk, man, in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Got to meet him in Vegas. It was a beautiful time in Vegas, yo. Perk, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Agency so I say this is what you do, and then agency breaks it down and sums it up so y'all can read it. Here we go. Ready? Power, outside, screens. I like the power runs. That's where is 49ers throwback still in here? That's why I want Kyle to do what you said. I don't need Christian McCaffrey powering up the middle all the time, but give him a couple inside gap power runs, right? But give me some Mason if he's healthy, please. Because if you're gonna run it on Vita Vea, right? Give me the strongest motherfucker that's going to run it against Vita Vea. And I ain't talking about Kyle Juszczyk. I'm talking about Jordan Mason. I think that's the only running back that I feel like can run over a defensive lineman any given Sunday, right? And that's unheard of, but that's strong, right? That's strong. Now, I don't want y'all to sleep on Christian McCaffrey's strength. I just don't think I want to run him into the teeth of the defense. Now, I want him to get outside and make those big guys have to work to try to get to him. I want smart stuff happening. Smart utilization from these players, right? Utilize the smart. Now, the defense, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is going to look to take away the strength of the 49ers. 49ers are ranked third in rushing. They're going to be looking to take away that. Like, hands down, they're going to be stacking the box. This will be a stack the hell of the box game, guys. So let me just explain to you what stacking the box is for those. It's the first time you're watching a football show, okay? Stacking the box. Now, they're going to put 4 linemen down there. I believe they're 4-3, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check real quick off the top of the dome piece. What do the Buccaneers, what is their, let me just check. Yep, I think they're 4-3. They're 4-3 base. Let's go to the defense. Yes, so 4-3, right? And so it's Vita Vea and it's Kancey in the middle. And then they got Tyron Shoyinka. I think I said his name right. And then they got my man Diaby on the outside, right? Them the edge rushers, right? So that's your 4. That's 4 right there. What they're going to do, though, is they're going to probably bring some of them linebackers up. And they're going to probably bring a safety. So you could go from 4 to 6 just like that. Like, that's what stacking the box is. When teams are stacking the box, they're doing one or two things, right? They're either going to blitz or they're going to look to blitz or to stop the run. They're like, you're not beating us running. And that's one of the main reasons why I want to get to the outside. But this is where Brock's processing comes in. This is where Brock can get to the quick throws. This is where the efficiency comes back in. This is where he cans the run play, goes to the quick play, and not a hot route, just saying, here's the other play. Because, hey, they're playing man. They're sending these guys. I could get you the ball real quick. Just be ready to catch it. And the receivers got to know their assignment. Now, if they're blitzing a linebacker or a safety or whatever, that's where the hot routes come in. Brock, hot it up, Brock. And so, look, I'm telling you right now, this is Todd Bowles' defense, okay? This is Todd Bowles we're talking about. We're talking about an aggressive play calling, and Kyle struggles against aggression. The only thing is he's beating Todd Bowles. You gotta smile because Todd Bowles can't beat Kyle Shanahan, right? Not as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Maybe with the Cardinals, but not as a Buccaneer. So you're gonna get aggression here from Todd Bowles' defense, and they got some aggressive players. I hate to say it, but they got some really aggressive players. But their defense, they got a good defense. They got a good corner. They got McCollum out there. Listen. He is the number 1 ranked cornerback in the game. I'm not saying you don't throw his way, but if he's tight coverage, press man, whatever, maybe you go a different route. You know what I'm saying? Pick on Hayes. Pick on some of the other guys. Pick on Smith in the slot. Pick on some of the other guys, right? That you could pick. Smith's pretty damn good, too, in the slot. So I'm just looking at the Niners, how they can match up. Now, that's if they come out, with 1 running back. They come out with, 3 wide receiver sets. That's 11 personnel. I think in this game for the Niners, they're going to give you a bunch of, 11 personnel. I think you're going to see a lot of 3 wide receiver sets with the health of Jawan Jennings. I think they're going to mix up some Ricky Pearsall, maybe some Jacob Cowing, and depending on Chris Conley's health, because he's been dealing with some injuries as well, you're going to see some 3 wide receiver sets, and you're going to see, I say, 11 personnel and a lot of 21 personnel. A lot of 2 running back sets with Juice being the back. And it might be Juice being the sole back. With Christian McCaffrey out here, you put Juice in the backfield, people are going to be thinking you're doing this with Christian McCaffrey because he's lined up. It's going to be interesting to see the difference with Christian McCaffrey out there on the football field, guys. Like, I'm just saying, and how the plays are executed when you have, your best guy, like one of your best offense. You got the key to your offense out there. It's going to be a totally different game plan. So that's just my theory offensively. Defensively, the 49ers, look, it's not too many people I feel like that they have to worry about defensively. You know what I'm saying? Offensively, the 49ers defense. But they don't want to overlook some of their players, some of these guys. They just don't want to overlook them. Now, I don't think their offensive line is great. It's Tristan Wirfs on the left, and then they're struggling, in my opinion, with the rest of the offensive line. Got a young offensive line. Their tackles are solid. Their left guard is old. But other than that, that's what it is. But they do got some veterans out there, if I'm not mistaken, all right? They got some veterans out there. It's Baker Mayfield, and they got a 2 running back monster. And the question is, my main thing is the 49ers just have to stop the run. You have to stop the run, because stopping the run will allow the 49ers defense to do what they like to do, and that's play the pass. We think that the Niners defense likes to play the run. Nah, they don't like to play the run. They got to stop the run. That's their job. That's their goal. Why? Because now you're forcing the quarterback to just throw the ball. And when the quarterback has to throw the ball, and the San Francisco 49ers defense knows the quarterback has to throw the ball, now they could play pass, and that's where your interceptions and your turnovers happen, right? So stopping the run is number one, the thing that they have to do, especially against a team like this, because Baker Mayfield loves play action pass as well, and he's not working with the same type of wide receivers out there. He's not working with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He has to work with Shepard, Jarrett, Palmer. Like, he has to work with different players. And so the timings aren't going to be the same. Where he's placing that ball isn't going to be the same. I think the 49ers dial up pressure, but they don't over pressure. They don't over pursue Bake, because Bake will take off and run. And so they got to play, they got to contain. You know what I mean? Like the edge rushers, Nick Bosa, Leonard Floyd, got to contain your edge. Can't let him pick up yards off of his feet, because he's going to run. He's going. I believe that the Niners defense is going to cover well against those receivers out there. That's my theory. Don't get beat by the run game and allow Rashad White or Bucky Irvin or that other fast guy, Sean Baker, nobody's talking about him, to be a problem in this game. They got their speed guy in Sean Baker, and he's a little bit more experienced than Isaac Guerrero, so they can mix and match with their run game as well. They can put some speed out there. They can put some power out there. They can put some agility out there and cause the 49ers defense to be in an uproar. And that's why you go out and get a guy and you trade for a guy like Khalil Davis, because we need to make sure that the teams that we're playing for the remainder of the season, we're forcing them guys to run this ball up the middle. Not outside, but up the middle, because we're going to take away the run. So the Niners got to start there, force Baker Mayfield to pass. Defensively, if Nick Sorensen does that, I just don't see how the 49ers defense gives up more than 13 to 17 points in this game. It might even be less than that. This might be a field goal game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I'm gonna say max 17. I'll say a minimum, minimum 12. So 12 to 17. There's 5 points out there I think the 49ers could get to play with. They're not giving up more than 17 points against this team, because the defense, I just think, was going to be super sound, and now here's where the defense for the 49ers tends to screw up. They make mental mistakes. Big Daddy, what's going on? They make mental mistakes. Those mental mistakes can give up explosive plays. Not containing a guy like Baker Mayfield, giving up a big run on a third down. Crucial mistake, right? Now you got to make sure that your red zone defense is on point, and you're not allowing them to get into the end zone. The Niners just can't afford to put themselves in tough situations. And that's my issue with the San Francisco 49ers defense. They put themselves in like breaking situations where, damn, we gotta come through in the clutch. And it's like 50-50 for them, right? Sometimes they'll get out off the football field, they'll hold them to 3 points, and then sometimes they'll give up the touchdown, and then they gotta like reset and do it again and say, all right, we gave them 7, that's where we stopped. The buck stops there. So the Niners defense just has to figure out a way not to do silly things, not get some penalties and things like that, or you know what I'm saying. The Niners defense, and it's going to look a little different because, again, our prayers and condolences go out to Mooney Ward and the family. And I hope and don't expect Mooney Ward to be out there. So who's going to play corner? Are we going to go with the outside guys? Diamador Lenore? Is it going to be Renardo Green on the outside? Are they going to go Isaac Yenum on the outside, put Renardo Green in the slot? I don't know. But I don't see a lot of 11 personnel coming out of there. I see more 12 personnel. I think they got a couple of tight ends that they may use offensively. I'm talking about the Bucs. But I don't see a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, so the Niners might not be in nickel a lot, which is great for the 49ers because now you can keep Diamador Lenore and your veteran defensive backs on the football field to allow some of those young guys to go out there and not make mistakes. So Niners got to be great getting off the field on 3rd down, and they got to convert offensively on 3rd down against a team like this that is struggling to stop the run and stop the pass. And that's my game plan. And I hope you guys enjoyed the game plan. It's not John Chapman style, but it's breezy. It's a little breezy. Let me get to a couple of questions and then we can dip up out of here. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the live show, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe on all the platforms, all right? If you're watching on Twitch, come subscribe on YouTube, vice versa. You know the deal, and whatnot, all right? And whatnot. Again, I appreciate you guys. All right, let me see if there's any questions that I did not answer. All right, so let's get back to Alejandro's question. CMC, how many yards for CMC? If it's 15 carries, I'm going to say it's going to be about 80 to 89 off of the 15. If he gets 15 carries, now he might just get an explosive run and blow that out of the water. I don't know, but I think 15 carries for, anything between, I think him getting 80 yards first game back, I think that's great. 15 carries. That'd be great. Now, the question is all-purpose yards. That's the question you're asking me. All-purpose yards. You said how many yards? You didn't say rushing. You said yards. I think he gets a couple of catches, maybe 4 targets, I would say. Maybe 4 receptions off all 4 targets and probably another 20-plus yards. So I think Christian McCaffrey will finish with over 100 yards in this game. I do. Is Mooney back? Well, he's never left, but I don't know if he's going to play in this game. It's kind of up to him. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, Nigel. We'll see what happens. Shane, I'm doing the Madden simulation tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys tune in live. It's only live. I believe it's live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at that time. So you can watch it on all 3 channels. All 3 channels. All right, let me see if there are any other questions out there. Appreciate you, Rob D. Appreciate you. All right, man. If not, let's see. It's gonna be a great game. It's 1 o'clock start. Early game. So here's the cool thing, right? When the Niners win, everybody on the West Coast can just when the Niners win, if you're on the West Coast, you get to have a great Mother Day. Like all afternoon is yours. The evening, y'all could go to a movie. Y'all could go because your team won. It's gonna be crazy. Just hit me. The afternoon would just be starting. Really, literally, it'd be like heading into the evening time. So I'm gonna take a nap after we win. Gonna do my live shows. Take a nap. Listen, follow me on Bleacher Report. Download the Bleacher Report app. That's what you do. Number 1, then search for me, Wayne Breezy, the Wayne Breezy on there. Follow me there because I go live after every game, and I'm doing a show there today at 4 p.m. where I'm going to preview the game a little bit more in detail, go over the offenses statistically, defenses statistically, and come up with a couple of more ways that they can get this victory, right? So make sure you guys tune in to me on Bleacher Report at 4 p.m. 4:30 p.m. will be the BAM show, so make sure you guys check that out. Tune into that as well. And that is it, man. I thank y'all, man. BAM, is it live today? It's not live. It's premiered. I have to go work. So I have to work at 6 p.m. tonight. So it's a premiere show. You're going to love it because it's kind of explosive. Like Mike and I, we don't always see eye to eye. And I know Mike thinks I'll be saying some dumb, but he be saying some dumb too. And so when you got two people saying dumb, it makes a great show. Now that I think about it, like we literally argued yesterday on No Harm, No Foul. Go check it out. Nothing But Niners channel. Like, it was an argument, and I was like, why are we arguing about the same thing? It just didn't hit me. But anyway, love Mike. Love you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. Till the next time, keep it faithful to the Bay. Oh, and if you're going to be using some audio streams for your reels and stuff like that, make sure you use my Faithful to the Bay song on your 49ers content. I would appreciate that. Let's get my song out there. I do nothing to promote. I'm just not that guy. Help me. Right? Help me be that guy. I'm just not. So if you're going to put some stuff, man, just tag, we go to the music, type in FTT. It'll pop up right there. Select whatever part of the song you want and utilize that, man. Help your boy Breezy out. Appreciate y'all guys. Keep it love, man. Peace.